If you're a startup founder chasing funding, this might piss you off, but you need to hear it. Everyone's obsessed with raising money, pitch decks, angel rounds, and getting that first seed check. But what if I told you that taking money too early in your business is going to kill it before you ever started? I have judged pitch competitions and watched startups burn out with millions in the bank. Let this video be your wake-up call. It's not about raising capital. It's about being a capital-worthy founder. Founders should absolutely not, please hear me loud and clear, should not take money from investors in the early stages. You better bootstrap like your life is on the line. And I remember being at a pitch competition. I was one of the judges, and there had to be about 20 women who were pitching. And I'm speaking specifically to the women. Not a single person asked me for money. Not a single person asked me for how much money they needed, and not a single person asked me for what they would use the money for. I know that using the word dumb is not the nicest thing to say, but we're in the business of money. And if you are pitching an investor and you're not asking for the actual money that you need to sustain and move your company forward, that is asinine to me. And when they can't tell me in 2 or 3 sentences what it's for, what it solves, and why they should be the person to solve this particular problem in a unique way, yeah, I'll pass in a heartbeat. If the product is great, but the founder sucks or is an a-hole or isn't the right person to fulfill this particular problem in the market, then it'll never work. I've had pitches and investment meetings with founders that had great products. I mean, great products, but the founders were trash. So I did not invest in those companies. And come to find out, I can say two of those particular companies where I didn't like the founders or I didn't care for the founders ended up bombing and they went bankrupt, even though they raised several $1,000,000. And there was PR around these particular companies. And yes, it looked good from the outside, but I did not trust that the founder could get this done. I did not trust that the founder could get it to the finish line for the acquisition. And the founders really weren't that good of salespeople. So I just didn't trust that the founder could do it. But I've also seen it where it's a great founder, wrong product, wrong time. But I will invest every time in a great founder because they will figure it out. Follow your passion. I think that's a terrible, terrible advice for entrepreneurs. The truth is your passions change, your motivations change. Your passions can change based on a particular season of your life. I think, yes, you should enjoy what you do, and yes, you should be passionate about the work that you do towards the problem that you solve and the people that you're serving. But passion is fleeting, motivation is fleeting based on your emotions. And the truth is, entrepreneurship does not give a flying F about how you feel or how passionate you feel today. Get the job done. Should you love what you do? Yes. Should you be passionate about leading a team? Yes. Should you feel fruitful in the direction of your company? Yes. But if passion and motivation is what's driving your product or your service, then I think it's overrated. I know that was controversial, but I said it. So I made a $16,000 mistake that was a very costly one, especially given the time when it happened. And the reason why I did it is because everyone else thought it was a great idea. And they said that following my intuition was overrated. Let's pause real quick. If this video is making you rethink your startup strategy, you don't have to do this alone. Join the Built Different newsletter where we break down sales, storytelling, pricing, and investor insights from real people who've built real businesses. Click the link in the description and subscribe. It's free. And it might save you from making the $16,000 mistake that I did. Following what I know to be true in my spirit and in my soul was overrated. What I was told is that logic overrides and paperwork overrides, a great pitch overrides, even great sale to the investor overrides what my intuition is telling me based on what the market is showing. And because I ignored that, because I ignored what I knew to be true based on what the market was doing, I lost $16,000 following the crowd. I believe that most entrepreneurs price too low. And the most dramatic change that I've seen, the most dramatic change that I've seen is well, one with my own, but also a photographer that I was working with. He went from $3,000 to $5,000 change, and he thought he would lose his clientele by going from $300 to $5,000, but he actually picked up better clients, long sustaining clients who stayed with him long term. And then in those relationships, by charging more, because now people took him more seriously, he was able to work on larger projects, do deals with brands where he was charging $25,000, $50,000 that we were negotiating. With that being said, even in my own business, when I was charging $800 for auditing and $800 for some coaching calls, and I was like, this is too much. Dealing with the Lord's children is a lot. Y'all be a lot. I know we're all made in the image of God, but y'all be too much. But when I lowered my pricing or had a lower price, people did not understand my value. And so they took advantage of what I knew, and it was my fault. And I knew better. But when I went from $800 to $6,500, the type of projects that I took on were different. The type of clients that we took on were very different. Matter of fact, probably one of my next largest jumps was going from 6,500 to 15,000. And it took one single phone call, one email, and the client didn't blink. And I had my money wired immediately. So raise your damn prices. The rules of the game have changed. One, the founder not having a personal brand, I think, is a mistake. I think focusing so much on the product that you don't learn sales, or how to sell it, who to sell it to. When what happens is founders will try to outsource their sales teams, and it never works because they don't know your product as well as you do. So who you hire is important. So I believe, and we've talked about this, is as a founder, you don't need to do everything exceptionally well, but you should be able to do everything decently, or at least have the knowledge to train or have the conversation so you know what's working and not working in your company. You don't have to have a product that is perfect. Launch a messy MVP and it will evolve and fix itself. Launch the messy product. Don't wait for it to be perfect. The perfect time won't come. The name of the game is speed, especially if it's a hardware, a software, or if it's an overcrowded, or what you believe to be as an overcrowded market. Launch it. You don't need to be at a 10 in order to launch. If you're at a 5, sell the 1 to 4. If you're at a 7, there are people doing mediocre jobs charging $30,000 just because they have the guts to sell it, and people are paying for it. So your customer's out there. It's just a matter of whether you're willing to sell instead of waiting for the perfect time. And the last thing you need in those early stages is so much chaotic noise. You need to be able to focus and fix your product and know who it's for and just getting to the next stage. If you take VC or private equity money as someone who works and is an investor in multiple venture capital funds, I am telling you, please listen to your big sis when I tell you, do not take venture capital money or private equity money in the early stages of your company. Because if you do, you will end up our B word, if you know what I'm saying. You work for me now.